Hey guys, my name is Timothy, and today we're talking about the purpose of your website. So, how do you know if your website's working well? How do you know if it's broken or if it's great? And how can you know what it could accomplish? This will all be discovered in this episode of Defining the Purpose of Your Website. Let's get started. Hello everyone, my name is Timothy Sayers and I am the host of Website Agency Secrets, and this is the podcast where we help brick and mortar businesses impact their communities through their website. Today, I'm very excited, we're talking about defining the purpose of your website. This is the foundation. I tell people you might have the most beautiful website in the world, but if it's not accomplishing your goals, it's not doing anything for you, and it's not beautiful to me. So if we understand the purpose of your website, we'll be able to move towards accomplishing specific goals, namely having a greater impact on your community and ultimately getting more business, making more money. This podcast video, these are our goals. Defining your message to your community. What do you hope your community believes about you as a business? Clarity on what your website is intended to accomplish. So many business owners just throw a website up there and cross their fingers thinking, well, I'm supposed to do this. Everyone else has one. I might as well do it too. But if you don't know what it's intended to accomplish, it's not going to accomplish your goals. And then clarity on determining success and measuring progress. If you don't have a clear idea of what a good website could do for you, you're not going to hit that goal. It's like playing the lottery. Yeah, sometimes some people get lucky and they win. They get a website that brings them a ton of business. But most people don't unless they know how to go down the path of getting those leads, getting those website leads, ranking high in Google, impacting your communities. But we got to start with with a story. The tale of two websites. So this guy, I'm going to start with case study number one. This guy's name is Scott. He's been working in a community for 15 years as a personal trainer. He is highly qualified with a high standard of training. And this is based off of a real life story with my agency, 97 Display. And this was one of our clients. He had a strong track record of patient and client success as a personal trainer. He was pretty much the best personal trainer in the area. He was the most qualified. He had the best facility. He simply was the best. His website remained untouched for the last 5 years. He frankly had a lot of business. He got a lot of referrals. He made a lot of money. And because he had been in the community for so long, 15 years, he ranked number one on Google when people search for personal training in his town. And his messaging on his website talked about his accomplishments, how they're the premier personal training and boutique fitness provider in their area. But then something happened. Case study number two. I'm just going to call this guy Joe, okay? So anonymous Joe. Joe opened up a brand new gym in the same area. Joe is the best way to describe Joe is that he was a fitness bro, right? He was personally teaching all the classes. He was new. We'll call it low quality instruction, just not on the same level as Scott was. But he was very passionate and he loved his members and he really wanted to make this his career. He was a high-tech know-how and was really good with hashtags, and he made a really new fancy website. So we've got this established, qualified business owner, personal trainer, and then we've got a new guy, and the new guy came into the town, threw up a fancy website, really good with hashtags. What happened? Well, what happened was that new people began to enter the market. New people moved into the town. They started searching online for personal training. And when they searched online, they began to explore both of these brands via their websites, right? So they Google, they find both of these personal trainers via their websites. And they started to make a decision. Well, who's better? So this is someone who had no idea about Scott's experience. They had no idea about Joe's experience. They just simply searched personal training near me, and they started exploring these two brands online. And what ended up happening was that the new consumers entering the market, well, they chose Joe because his website looked better, because his social media looked better, because the view that they had of the business was impacted by their experience when they were searching online. And slowly over time, all of the new consumers, or at least the vast majority of them, began going to Joe and not going to Scott. And Scott, our client, came to us with a problem saying, hey, I used to get a ton of new business from my website. And then over the last couple years, I stopped. And all my business now comes from referrals, walk-ins, and word of mouth, which is pretty sufficient for me. But I want to know what happened. Where'd all of my leads go? Well, the truth is the leads were still there. They just stopped going to Scott, the established business, and they started going to the new business simply because of the way that the website looked online. Which is my big point. If you leave this podcast with one takeaway, it is your website is the lens through which your community perceives your value. Your website is the lens through which your community perceives your value. You, I believe, have good value, right? If you are an entrepreneur, surely that's one of your goals. If you're a brick and mortar business owner, you want to provide good value to your customers. Well, if you don't interact with your customers in person and your only interaction with them is online, aka someone Googling, and they perceive you through your online presence and your online presence is bad, then you're never even going to get a chance to show off your value because they're going to choose someone else. So consumers are introduced to your brand through your online presence. Their initial reaction is formed based on the way that you present yourself online. So the bottom line is that your website's sole purpose is to increase the value perception judgment call of your consumers researching online. It is not to, I want to say that again. Your sole purpose of your website is to increase the value perception judgment call of your consumers researching online. And this is so important, guys. It's like you might have the best service in your area, but as consumer trends change in modern technology, they may not be experiencing your value in person before stalking you online. The majority of people will stalk your business online before making a purchasing decision or even a visiting decision. And as a result, you have to be able to control their perception of your business by investing into your online presence, by having a website that accurately communicates your true value. So is this fair? Is it fair that the new consumers entering the market was going to Joe and not to Scott? Like, Scott is the better personal trainer. He has the better facility. He has the better equipment. The probability of someone actually achieving their fitness goals by visiting Scott is much greater than if they visited Joe. But Joe is getting all the new consumers. Is this fair? Well, no, it's not fair. Right? But business isn't fair. Internet marketing isn't fair. Sometimes the bad guys win or the new guys win. But Google says we want to present the best results for our searchers. Like, Google actually wants to present the qualified businesses first. But the problem is Google didn't know that Scott was better than Joe. Google actually thought Joe was better than Scott because Google looked at Joe's website and said, well, this is a better website. They looked at Joe's social media and said, well, this is better social media. Therefore, Joe must be better because Google doesn't know your education. Google doesn't know the quality of your equipment. So why didn't Google present Scott as the best instructor in town? Well, it's because Google determines business quality by your ability to follow their rules and by consumer behavior on your website. So Google is not able to come in and experience a personal training session with Scott, right? But they can crawl his website and they saw something they didn't like. They saw an old, outdated, not updated website. And as a result, Google said this must not be a quality business. If you are the best service provider in your town, you owe it to your community to invest into your website, into your online presence. Scott was the best. He made a lot of money. But he neglected his website because he said, well, it works. I put up there a long time ago. I get business. I don't need to think about it. But the impact of that on his community was that the new people coming into town and searching for personal trainer near me and going to the new guy, well, they were having a bad experience. And if he was serious about impacting his community, he would attempt to protect his community from poor experiences. I'm sure that Scott, if observing Joe's personal training session, would critique it hardcore. And he would probably be worried or scared for the consumers going to the lower quality service providers. So you need to protect your community from poor experiences. This is the sentence of, we tried personal training once. Like, think about a lead or someone you talk to. Think about someone in your business that says, well, I used to go, take personal training, but I don't anymore. We tried it once. Well, what is that experience saying? That experience is saying, I had a service provider that was poor quality or did not meet my needs. I had a bad experience with someone else from your industry. And so that's what's happening here is Scott would have provided a good experience, but because he didn't update his website, he didn't get the chance. And now the consumers are going to Joe having a bad personal experience, and then giving up on the service altogether. So this is how things like, we tried personal training once, it didn't work for us. That's how that's formed. And I'm sure with your respective business and service, I'm sure that you've maybe heard people kind of say, oh, I'm not interested in your service. It's because they don't know the kind of value you could bring. You got to protect your community. And this is the same thing with other industries. I'm too scared of the dentist. What is actually happening? They went to a bad dentist. Any dentist worth his salt is going to say, all my people have good experiences. Even with an unpleasant service, all of my people have good experiences. Therefore, they're not too scared of the dentist. That fear comes from somewhere. It comes from experience. What about massages aren't worth it? Well, that's because one time in their past, they searched masseuse near me or massage parlor. And they went there, they had an experience, and they thought massages aren't worth it. Well, I'm sure that if they went to your massage parlor, they would say it is worth it because of the quality that you bring, right? So we have to protect our community from bad experiences by making sure that as people search, they find the best businesses in town. So ultimately, you don't want your competitor to be perceived as better than you, right? You don't want your competitor to be perceived as better than you, especially if your competitor is offering lower quality services. So that is the main point here is, if your competitor is offering lower quality services, but they have a better online presence than you, they're going to be perceived as better than you by both Google and by new consumers. But then when they go in to take the services, they'll have a bad experience and then write off the service altogether, and you may never even get a chance. It's actually lowering the overall market size. Really bad. So you need to give a real and accurate picture to Google of who's the best in town as a service to your community. Just like you want your physical equipment and physical goods and services to reflect the quality of your brand, think of your website as digital equipment. So as much as you would invest in something tangible that you sell or that you provide or that you do, think of your website as digital equipment. It needs to be on par. Right now, a percentage of your local community is actively interested in your services, and they're using this digital equipment to determine if they like your brand. And that's before they even ever interact with your brand in person. So we call this Google traffic, and it's simply people in active research mode. So someone goes online because they decided that they're interested in what you have to offer, and then they search. So for our example, personal training. Someone goes on Google and they search personal trainer near me. They are in active research mode, right? As a business, you must ask, what is the experience that these searchers are having when they Google my service? What is their experience? Could you take a stranger and tell them to Google your keywords and ask them, would I be thought of as the best business? And we do it all the time, don't we? Like, we do it for other businesses. You probably in the last week searched something like, Italian restaurant near me or coffee shop near me or something like that, right? And you make it determine like who's the best Italian restaurant in town based off of between Google reviews and their website and how they rank. But you've never even tasted the food. There might be the best mom and pop Italian restaurant in the city close by and you don't know about it. And isn't that a disservice to you, right? So what is the experience when people search your services? The purpose of your website is to create the best possible experience for these people searching. And your website is how you do that. It is not to sell them your service. They're already searching, right? They're already in the market. They're already searching. So your website is not trying to sell them what you do because they're already sold. That's why they're searching. Like they're going to go get Italian food either with you or somewhere else. It's not even to convince them that they need your service. Again, they're already searching. It is only to convince them that you are the best service provider to choose. So, how do you convince them on your website that you are the best service provider to choose? Well, there are 3 phases to accomplishing this. Phase number 1. Well, you have to convert existing traffic into leads via a new website, right? If you offer service to your community and you have a website and you're Googling right now your keywords and you're seeing, wow, the experience is bad. Maybe that's why you're not getting any website leads. Or maybe you are getting website leads despite the fact that you haven't done any of this. Well, either way, a new website is going to help capitalize on the traffic that you're getting. And the new website it's really, the purpose is to have messaging that actually motivates people into taking action, have calls to action that's accurate based off their psychology in the moment, and have a technical experience, whether how fast you load, what device you load on, that is intuitive and convenient and easy and ever free for the user, no matter what device they're using. So what I find with our agency clients and really a lot of businesses I work with, it really starts with their website, where you're going to have to either overhaul the messaging and the layout or have a new website altogether with a new technology partner and platform. And then what you'll see is immediately the existing traffic that you get will begin converting at a higher percentage. So let's just say you get 100 clicks a week. Well, if you get 100 clicks a week and 100 clicks a week and 0 leads, and then you launch a new website and you now get 2 leads from the 100, well, that's an improvement, right? And we can track that. So once you have a new website that you actually have a goal of getting leads, well, then we want to grow your overall traffic. And we grow your overall traffic by ranking higher for more keywords. So if you're watching this on video right now, you'll see, like, you might have one keyword that brings you 587 clicks and another keyword that brings you 230 clicks. Well, the number of clicks you get is a direct correlation to your ranking that you have in Google and how many people are searching. And so if you know that the majority of your traffic is coming from this keyword, that's awesome. We're going to leave it there and we're going to try to rank the next one. And we're going to keep on going down the line until you rank number 1 for a bunch of different keywords and are getting a lot of traffic. And that traffic isn't wasted traffic because it's going to a website that is proven to convert the visitors into leads. And you do this all through phase 3, which is observing the data and changing as needed. So whether or not you add new services, whether or not your conversion percentage begins to change, whether or not you just need to make adjustments because of new technology coming out. Really, it's always evolving and growing. And that's why I always recommend people, like, look, you can DIY this, but also having a strategic partner is such a wise decision to protect your time. Website agency secrets, I'm going to take you through each phase and show you how to accomplish them. So it is my expectation that you just saw those 3 phases and you think to yourself, I have literally no idea what to do. That's okay, because I have the next 3 modules. It's going to be transforming your website, the layout, the copy, everything else. It's going to be ranking on Google, how to rank for all your different keywords and track that analytics. And then number 3, how to sustain that forever. And so that's what Website Agency Secrets is. And it's everything that we've done to help grow and service thousands of brick and mortar local services websites over the last 7 years. Been a wild ride, and now I am sharing it all with you because knowledge is power, and so I've got a lot of it. Thank you guys for joining in on this. If you watch the rest of my videos, listen to my podcast, you're going to get a ton of other website strategies to turn your website into an automated lead generating machine. It's going to be a wild ride. So just imagine your website providing a steady stream of qualified inbound leads every single month. It is possible. It does happen. I've got thousands of accounts that do enjoy that experience, and it's all about making sure that your community perceives your business through your website as the most qualified in your area. And that is why, my friends, it all starts with your website. Visit us, websiteagencysecrets.com. Join our Facebook group. to stay connected and see the rest of our videos. My name is Timothy. Thanks for joining us today. And remember, folks, it all starts with your website.